Hey everybody, it's me, Sherrod again. Here I am with a mental health moment. It's been a while since I've done one, and it's mainly because this particular topic that I'm going to be talking about today is a little tough, and it has to do with changes. Changes, whether it's in your personal life as far as relationships, financial changes, changes within jobs, just change in general. And I kind of try to fight it because, I am going through a transition of change where I'm understanding relationships and their purpose in my life and, realizing some things that I'm holding on to. So throughout this, as I'm evaluating my life, it's as if God was saying, I want you to understand the cycle of the tree, the life cycle of the tree. But then I kind of felt that was weird. So then as, I kept hearing this and I'm fighting talking about this topic at all, I keep paying attention to the trees, whether it's in the neighborhood or, when I'm at the local park, like where I'm at now, or even the plants that I have at my home. But then as I begin to do some studying on the actual tree, basically it does coincide. Like for instance, the tree has a life cycle much like us. From conception, which is the seed, to its birth, which is it sprouting from the ground, to infancy, to juvenile, to the sapling, to adult, which is a mature tree, to elderly, where it starts to decline, and finally to death. That's when pretty much the tree is no longer going to do anything. As you see in the background, I actually chose this setting because I wanted to actually do it at a park. And I thought about a park that actually have a lot of trees. And I don't know if you could pay attention in the back. You actually see trees in the background at all different stages. As we're approaching fall, it actually had me think about why do the leaves actually fall from a lot of the trees. And one of the things that I've noticed about trees is that, in the spring, the weather begins to get warm. So the trees and other plants tend to grow their leaves, which means, the sun is shining longer. They're in a good environment. They're in a good situation. The summertime, it's the hottest season, usually long sunny days, and that's when they actually grow and actually absorb a lot of the energy from the sun and the environment. But then the fall comes, and that's when the weather starts to change. And that's when, the leaves start to fall from the tree, the days get shorter. So then the tree starts to go into what they call hibernation mode. But then you have the winter time, of course. That's pure hibernation, season. But as we're approaching the fall, I want to talk about how our life, right? How this is a time where a lot of us are evaluating those around us, whether it's family, friends, associates, or people that we have allowed to come into our circle. And how we notice that some people are actually starting to remove themselves from around us, or we're starting to remove ourselves from certain situations. And it's okay to actually remove ourselves from, certain situations, or allow people to actually remove themselves from us. Much like fall, this is actually showing us who's actually in our corner, who's going to be there during our darkest time. During the time when we're not able to absorb and get the nourishment, when things aren't so happy, when things are gloomy and dim, when we don't know how things are going to turn out. So we have to be like the tree and allow the leaves to fall. But here's the thing that really stuck out to me, and one thing that I actually had to pay attention to was trees that try to hold on to the leaves have a hard time growing in the spring. So what it is what have I been, or what have you been holding on to that you need to let go of for your growth so that you can mature? Because a lot of times we want to mature, we want to grow, but we're actually holding on to something that we know that we have to let go in our season of evaluation, to where we're seeing are people around us for us, if they're there to really help us grow. Sometimes we just want to hold on to people because of fear of being lonely, not having somebody to talk to. But I'm coming to the realization that it's okay to be lonely, to be by yourself. So for years, I've tried to hold on to people and cultivate and keep relationships that should have been gone years ago, whether it's with family or friends. And now I'm happy I'm at that mature stage to where it's okay to let people go so that I can move forward. So that when the springtime comes, I'm able to bloom, I'm able to blossom, I'm able to bear fruit, per se. That's the reason why a lot of us in life are stagnant. We're not able to move forward. We're not able to grow. It seems like chaos is always around us because we are holding on to things. We're refusing to let go of the leaves like the tree is doing, to go through that process so that we can grow as people. Change is inevitable. It has to happen. So we have to be okay with change and go through the process. It's not easy. It is not easy at all. It's something that we must do. There's 5 stages in this thing, and I kind of feel like, this can be a conversation that we have, but losing people out of our life that we've held dear to us is not the easiest thing. But once we realize it's for our good and it's going to help us grow as a person or as a people, then it'll be easier to just go with the seasons. The seasons are there for a reason. Fall. It's not a coincidence that they call it fall, because now you're able to let some things fall off. You're able to let some people fall away from you so that you can move forward. Everybody can't go where you're going, but just know that they serve their purpose. Have a blessed day.